African Techno podcast episode 3, but it's actually episode 1.
Yeah, just do this clap, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so where do we begin?
Exactly, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, as far as it goes, I think we just need to let people know that we've just renamed from In It for the Tech to African Techno. So this will probably be the last time that we mentioned In It for the Tech, unless we've actually got the guys from In It for the Tech.
No.
Yeah.
Last time was the last time that we mentioned
In It for the Tech. But never, this time we just need to clarify, because people will be like, why exactly are they mentioning the In It for the Tech podcast and now it's the African Techno podcast?
Sure, no, fair enough. Just don't take it personally, guys.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing deep, we're just saying, like,
Yeah, it
into
is
some background, things and information. You know how admin goes.
True.
Basically, the name of the podcast is officially the African Techno podcast. So, same principle, same approach in terms of everything that we're doing. But yeah, AT podcast, not IN.
Yeah, I think it's easy. Yeah.
TT.
ATP.
I used to think about the abbreviation. Like sometimes we actually think for instance with the AT podcast, we know like, hey yo, when are we doing ATP?
Yeah.
For instance,
True.
it's very cool, but like
For that, it would have been a mouthful. But either way, let's do quick introductions. Yourself.
My name is Rae.
All right, Daliso here. As you can already see, the feel is very tech focused, of course.
Yeah.
But more towards AI for today.
Yeah.
So I also went to Rae. What are your thoughts about AI? What exactly are you doing with AI? Of course, I think I can talking to like LLMs and chatbots and all this other stuff, but what are you currently playing around with?
I'm about to ask AI what's an LLM, first of all. But like, I have a lot of conversations with AI, bro.
Okay.
Pretty much now it's actually gotten to the point where anything that I don't know solidly based on experience, I'm going to be asking AI.
Yeah.
So like sometimes more than like just, more than often I'm drafting emails using AI, definitely. And then, for instance, I'm also working on projects and stuff where I'm setting things up.
Yeah.
And I might not necessarily know what the right software to use or what the right approach is, in terms of how to actually just set this whole thing together. And AI has helped me because I could just ask it like, yo,
True.
I'm trying to do this. What do you think is the best way around it, And now I've got a project plan and all of that. So I think with AI, I feel like I'm still expanding on how I can use AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
True.
There's a lot of things where I feel to myself like I might be a bit too lazy to think about it or like try to figure out the answer. And it's more about those like little tedious mundane things that I'm like, man, I wish I just knew how to do this,
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of different ways that I'm using AI, and I don't think I've really reached the peak of understanding how AI can be used.
Okay, so when you talk of AI, it seems like you're talking about like your chatbot.
ChatGPT, actually. So let me know using AI.
Yeah.
But like how I use ChatGPT is that, and then there's so many other different things that AI is kind of incorporated in. So I haven't really.
Cool. Yeah. And then in terms of like hardware, is there any AI hardware based tech? Because of course, there's one little thing in this little pouch that we'll talk about a little bit later. Yeah. But anything hardware based that you're currently playing around with?
Yeah, I mean like, not currently because my glasses with the frames.
R.I.P.
I'm just getting new issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean like it'll be soon because like I'm getting my prescription lenses put on, the actual product that I'm gonna be talking about is the Ray-Ban Metas. So what I'm trying to do right now actually is, like again, with products like the Ray-Ban Metas, obviously we're all trying to figure out this whole software update thing.
Yeah.
Right, so that I can get back into the Meta AI kind of, space and getting all the different functions available to me there.
Yeah.
But like, I think apart from the AI stuff, like just using the glasses, the hardware itself, it's something that makes it really easy for me to just kind of incorporate all this different types of functionality. I mean, something as simple as asking for the time.
Yeah. It was just to give you guys a bit of a hint. These are the Ray-Ban Metas, the Skylar frames. It's cinnamon pink, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, cinnamon pink, you can actually just press a button here to take a picture and also record. I'm not too sure if, for instance, these things are actually on. But either way, One way or another, I think
You
they
see,
still
I know, bro.
No,
Me, I know how to do this thing. Me, I test and break these things.
I think
every
they
time.
still need to be paid. Yeah, they haven't been paid.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah,
haven't been paid.
true. So either way,
Shame.
once they actually get paid, it's quite easy. You just press the button on the side, or you double tap as well, depending on how you configure it. It has touch pads on just the one side. It's on the right side, right?
On the right side, yes,
Yeah.
there is.
And then as far as it goes with what Rae has been mentioning is that you say, hey Meta, take a picture. Hey Meta, call this person. Hey Meta, can I listen to my favorite song? So it even links with Apple Music, Spotify, and the likes.
Yo, it's the first time I've actually noticed this, or like the first time I've actually looked at the Ray-Ban Metas. So, like, because I'm seeing all these little holes around, you know, and
for
obviously the
and
microphones,
the charging ports and the likes.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, there's also this hole here just by the speakers. I can
Yeah.
also see that there's speakers on the top side
Exactly.
and the bottom side. I would wonder, like, why would you need to have speakers?
Yeah, I
On the
presume
top
maybe
of it, yeah.
maybe it's to cancel out the audio. I don't know. That's just something that one could actually always just double check.
It's almost like you see like how, you know, different earphones and everything, they have microphones in them to do phase cancellation, like phase noise
So it's
cancellation.
very much like with the AirPods that you actually
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, so that is actually quite interesting. Yay! I never saw that. I never
Yeah.
realized that, but that would actually be really cool because I have noticed sometimes you could be in a very loud environment.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the Ray-Ban Meta kind of speaks to you, gives you feedback on whatever you asked. And then all of a sudden you can hear what's going on. But for instance, like, you know, it's actually quite cool. Maybe there's a reversed phase
It could
cancellation.
Be. It could be because as far as it goes, when you're out and about and you're using them for music and the likes, it's like you barely hear any sort of interruptions. But we could be mistaken. Considering that the mics are still quite close to your ears and they don't disturb anybody, that's just a nifty trick there.
Maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see where it goes. I think Ray-Ban Meta is still quite new in the market right now.
Yeah, it's been a few years, but say a few years, it's still quite new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they could ever come up with like a frameless design?
Possibly, as in like right now, we've already got Google who are coming into the game with their own AR glasses.
Okay.
Apple is actually even saying we're actually going to be pushing for our own glasses as well.
Right.
So again, is that there's even another company I saw that they're doing an open source version of like the Ray-Ban Metas.
Oh, yeah.
So at least, for example, there's that expansion because like with these Meta AI, funny enough, people will think it's like, oh, but I do have it in WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. But the Meta AI that we're talking about is when it's actually on the hardware.
Yeah.
And you can actually ask it as to what exactly you see in front of you. Can you translate whatever is actually there? We'll almost like just be dropping a few videos on our social media channels on at African Techno, like with what happened with the South African Council for the Blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one dope video. And a few other clips for people to actually have a bit of an experience of what we had before Meta were like, this is going to be blocked everywhere except for the US and supported regions as well.
I actually want to see as soon as Meta AI kind of like gets unlocked for us.
Yeah.
I do want to try something very creative. Like there's a lot of different things that I feel like if I could actually, I don't know, man, maybe walk around blindfolded for a day
Yeah.
and just see, you know, just understand like what would that be like? Because I think
Yeah, isn't there that the live transcription feature where you can actually walk around and often you can ask like what exactly is in front of me? It's some of the features that I've seen, even like the live translation. I know obviously there will still be the limited languages, but you can just imagine you're talking to someone, they say something, it actually gets told to you in English, and often there's vice versa as well.
yeah, I think the only thing about such like features like that, especially kind of live features, is that there's no real prompt for them.
Yeah.
Of course, you can tell it, hey, listen and translate this for me.
Yeah.
But then it's not like the glasses can stay listening the whole time and just kind of on standby, ready to do something for you.
Yeah, you just have to activate it, but it is like a live discussion. This is that, of course, you can just imagine, even if you're speaking, it translates, then you have to listen to the English, then from there.
Then you have to speak and then
with
you
the
have to translate.
It's like watching a foreign film and nothing, you're reading the subtitles.
The subtitles are quicker, bro.
Yeah.
Subtitles are quicker. It's just a one-way conversation. But imagine having to actually give your feedback to the TV or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that would obviously cause an issue. But no, fair enough, man. But yeah, basically to wrap that up, Ray-Ban Metas is one of the pieces of gear that really heavily, I could say, incorporates the AI factor, and something that I'm really excited about how far we can take it with AI in terms of that product.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you have any particular product. I'm actually excited to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I can feel like you're literally doing this to build suspense, because you don't want to just get to it.
Well, the thing is, as far as it goes, like with what you were just talking about with
The biological gear here.
Yeah.
The humane.
Okay. Well,
And then the other one, what's a penguin? Not a penguin.
No, rabbit.
Rabbit.
The rabbit R1. It's like in a very nice neon color.
Hey, one at a time. One at a time. Which one are you telling me about? Because me, I've got questions for days.
So this product here got bought by HP, so it doesn't work anymore. It can take pictures. I don't know. I was like, let me just try and see.
There's a young light there.
What can you see? Yeah, it's dead. So the thing that HP bought the company, their social media channels are actually locked. You can't even log in onto, I think it's like the Cosmos online system and the likes. So yeah, this is a piece of junk. You're better off actually just using your phone, open up ChatGPT and getting the same sort of result.
So it's actually just like a question answer, like a Q&A bot.
Yeah, but it can also do calls and the likes. But the thing this is where it's a bit funny. I think you can really wonder, like, how did you get this on? I'm like, yeah, I have to get underneath and the likes. I was hoping that for instance, for anybody.
Magnet.
Yeah, magnets. Yeah, so the thing is that the battery at the back is a booster battery. Yeah, you can actually try that. But I would have wanted something similar to, if you think of like the Go. As in it's just slide off the battery right there. Yeah, so there is a battery charge in the lights.
Okay.
So it does have battery charge right now. But yeah, very silly, as in you actually have to dig up in the likes. I'm like, most of the times you can even just take out your phone, open up ChatGPT, go to the camera, take a picture, annotate, ask what exactly that is.
Yeah.
You get a better result compared to this where it's just been trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humane. So HP bought them.
HP bought them. So pretty much in terms of just that, I think it was an acqui-hire in a sense. So meaning that they actually just bought the company just for the skill sets.
So there is actually a battery in here.
Yeah.
And then this is like
an extended
an
battery.
extended battery.
And the thing is that what happens is that you operate it with your hand.
Yeah.
So there's like a green LED that actually pops up. So I think we might actually take a few shots just to show what it actually looks like.
So the green LED things could still work right now?
It still can work. So you can still see the time and the likes, but it's pretty much a nice paperweight. It's a piece of history. That's what I can say.
Okay,
yeah.
because there's now like no support
Nothing
with
there.
the AI actually
Exactly,
running.
yeah. But
Okay,
yeah,
this would be something I could easily flex with though.
I can just tell you, if I were to show, remember we had our guest, Nash?
Yeah.
If you saw the comments, and almost like you have a link to that same post, people were hating that same product. They're like, it's useless, yada, yada, yada. Because like when you consider the price, this is like close to around 14,000 Rand. And that's before you even bring it into the country. So you're like thinking, 14,000 Rand, I can get a cheaper phone that does it way more.
14,000 Rand for this thing?
Yeah, for this thing.
This thing, so this isn't a screen. This is actually just like a touchpad.
It's just a touchpad.
Does it sync to your phone? Does it have
Syncs to the cloud. Apparently it had unlimited data and the likes, but that was running for the US. So you can just imagine, you bring it or take it anywhere in the world, it's like, it's a bit of a paperweight. We can't really question them as to if it had international use, but hey, it is what it is.
So what is this thing's purpose?
It was supposed to be an authentic device to your phone, so you can actually walk around, like looking at, like for instance, even when you want to unlock it, you have to like move your hand back and forth, like yeah, and then often you pinch and the likes, and often if you want to go back, you clench your fist. So you can just imagine in public, people be like, "What the heck are you doing?" It's like,
Please fix it.
oh, you see, technology.
It's because of the magnet.
Yeah. Anyway, so
okay.
yeah.
So it's supposed to be, so it in principle, it's like being able to take what I would have done on my phone screen and get that onto my hand without me actually having to use my phone.
Yeah, but you can't see any, like if you take a picture, you'll only be able to see it through your phone or your computer. So you can just...
So I can't see a picture on my hand?
No, you'll just see a green LEDs. So it's a green LEDs projection on your hand.
Right.
But there isn't anything else that you can actually do. So you can tell time, go through a menu selection, maybe try to update it. Even with the update, it says, oh, put it onto the charging port, but it doesn't tell you how to actually even.
Okay,
see.
so
Yeah.
so by your experience,
Yeah.
have we been able to do email on this?
No,
Write a note.
no.
If you can't write a note, I'm assuming we can't answer and get messages.
You can. I think you can actually hear messages.
You can hear messages because that was gonna be like that was somewhere next
Cool.
on the
But
list.
then again, I'm like, then I might as well just like put in AirPods. And then,
Okay, and then the speakers now. When you take a call and this thing is chilling here, like because if you can, I don't know what.
could do something, but again, there was no support for South Africa. As in, when we talk of the next products shortly, is that at least this thing actually takes in a SIM card.
Okay.
Yeah, this one it was an eSIM.
It doesn't even take. Okay, eSIM. Okay. Yeah, nah, admin. Yo, okay. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Where do you even charge this?
There's a charging base, so it's wireless. Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's so expensive.
That doesn't make any sense. Your phone also has a wireless charger.
Okay, so my thing is like, okay, so basically this is meant to be the replacement of a phone, just a
Yeah.
whole different form factor.
Yeah.
Trying to restructure the form of you actually having a
Would
phone.
you prefer that or these? As in, these look less inconspicuous, right?
Yeah.
Person would be like, oh, okay, the person's just like tapping on their grass and maybe readjusting. So it's like, it's right there. It's like people would be wondering, what the heck is this on your chest?
So I think the main thing that I will kind of draw the line with between these two, right, is that this would sort of be independent on its own.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily
Doesn't
pair with the
require a
phone.
phone, yeah.
Whereas the Ray-Ban Metas, until we can get like a standalone version that doesn't have a phone app or whatever.
That's a different story.
Yeah, but for now they do that. That is like kind of an add-on to the phone. So cool. I want to try this thing out and then get. I feel like people are just saying bad things about this humane thing because you guys are emotional. You don't want to let me go through my own
You
experience.
can actually even watch the YouTube videos, the MK.
I've heard.
Yeah. If you
I've
watch this like
seen.
25 minutes and you're like, it makes a whole lot of sense why nobody would actually want to buy this.
I have seen it, so I'm gonna watch it again and then see like ish.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to have my own experience. Because maybe I might find something really cool about it and be like, but you know what, guys? They actually just released it. They probably just had the wrong advertising with it,
They
you know?
shut it down. You can't use it.
All right. Oh, yeah.
So, like, for instance, any of the AI features, you can't even test.
And even when they could use it, it was kind of like,
Yeah, flimsy. And then that's not like, because, like, for instance, with your phone, you've got a screen, you've got the camera, you can see what you're actually looking at, you take the picture, you can be like, okay, now I know what it's actually recognizing.
Right.
With this, you can just imagine, it's like using your old phone cameras, right? Where you wouldn't know if it's overexposed or underexposed only after the fact. So you have to develop enough and hope that, hey,
Yeah.
what battery got is actually what it was expected.
yeah.
So that's the thing. But yeah, getting to this little cute guy here, the rabbit, I think
Okay, so that was the humane.
that's the humane, AI humane. You see cute rabbits here. You can even see when you rotate. For anybody there, it even has a keyboard. You can actually tap on that keyboard, right? So it makes it a little bit nifty in the way that you actually get to use it. So briefly, we'll actually just show you what it looks like there. But then when you turn it around, you actually see the interaction there, right? So even with that, I think you can already see
Yeah,
how
going
this
through.
works. So if I double tap, it turns on the camera. So the camera right there, let's just see here. I'll just,
Iman,
yeah.
what is
So
it?
yeah, just use this as the
Oh, okay.
and you can actually move the camera.
That's actually quite.
And then when you want to close the camera, you just, well, right now I'm actually getting into query mode. But yeah, but I can actually even ask, what do you see?
Taking a look now. Let's see what we've got here. The description shows a person sitting indoors on a yellow chair. In the background, there is a television mounted on the wall, a plant, some electronic devices on a shelf, and curtains.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can see it. I like it too. But yeah.
Okay.
So you just double tap, and often you tap there to turn it off, but then you, with the scroll wheel, you can actually
Okay.
scroll through the menu, so settings and the likes. But this one is a bit more.
Okay, so I'm okay already. So now we cover what AI is saying.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what else can you do on this device?
So apparently you can get it to work with your Spotify. You can actually get it to even order things like with your. Yeah, and as far as it stands, you can program it and the likes. They've currently got what is called Rabbit Intern, where you can write a description and it can do work in the background as an intern for you, and then get back with the results as to what you actually want. So some people have even done this called vibe coding, and vibe coding is all about you just write out prompts, and often it can actually code out the solution for you.
So if I have a video that I need to edit,
Yeah,
and I've got all the files,
yeah.
I've got the software and whatnot, could I connect this thing? Yes, boy, please don't laugh at me for asking this, because could I connect this thing to my PC and be like, yo, edit my video, make it look like this and like that?
Yeah.
Could I?
Possibly. As in right now, there's the protocol called, I think, MCP. Don't hold me. What's it? But the whole thing that you can actually use. I'm not too sure if OpenAI has support for it as of yet. But the guys at Anthropic, Claude, right? Mm-hmm. An MCP is pretty much like an API.
Okay.
Next to different applications that you've got. So in theory, with what you're actually just talking about, you could actually have all your files, necessarily say, hey, I want this to be shot like a Steven Spielberg movie. Maybe putting references and such and getting that to actually be the output. But that's where we're getting, where, for instance, you can throw in files, get it to actually do its job, and then the output would be close to what you're actually looking at.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hear that? Arcade.
Yeah.
So this okay.
So with this one is like, it's a bit more playful, to be quite frank.
Okay.
It goes for a fourth of the price of this low guy that we actually saw. So I'm not too sure. I prefer this because you can even put it in your pocket and you can take it out and it's like, hey, you just double tap, you can put on the camera and the likes. You can even see what you're actually taking a picture of compared to what we have with the same AI humane pin.
So for me, generally, my whole thing is like, okay, we obviously need to explore what can be done with these, you know. And it's weird because now I'm seeing there's carrots there.
Yeah, because it's a rabbit.
Man, wait, bro. If I want to play something, I'm seeing there's a button that says play.
I have not even tried that.
Minus 10 carats. So I'm like, yo, okay, for me to play, I'm going to lose 10 carats or you're going to lose 10 carats.
Hey, either way, you can always just experiment with it afterwards and after we can how that actually plays out.
Hey, man, okay, so I turn it over.
Yeah, and after you can actually punch in things.
So now my first question is, what am I typing to? Am I typing a link?
You can just type in hello and see what actually happens.
What?
And then press enter.
Oh, I'm typing a conversation with the AI. Away. How is it going to if there's anything specific you would like to ask or talk about, just let me know. Oh, crap.
That easier compared to
Damn, bro. I like the build, man. I think it's a really simple thing, of course.
It's quite light as well.
Yeah, so does it have like a voice recorder thing?
Oh yeah, so obviously when I took a picture, I just held and often asked a question.
All right. Okay, cool, snap. What's one question we should ask it? Just to test like how much it knows.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Camera person, do you have any camera questions?
No.
Okay. How do you adjust the exposure on...
How do you... that one's a trick question.
Hey, let's actually try the trick questions.
Do we need to adjust the exposure on the Sony?
What, in theory?
Like right now?
No.
Okay,
right
which one is this? A7, ne?
Yeah.
Yay, I'm even nervous to ask.
Let's just check, as in, at the end of the day, he wants to see this on camera as well, so you can just punch and...
Can you use it?
Yeah, of course it's going to be quite a distance, but...
Yeah, but we'll do it again if you guys can't see proper, but like, yeah. So, just trust me when I read what it says. On it, he says on it. And you're just searching for how to adjust exposure on Sony A7 camera. Ooh. So this thing could actually be like a solid ChatGPT. Yo. And Vele, swapping out the steps. Step 1.
Yeah.
Manual exposure mode. Go to the menu, then camera settings, then shoot mode, then manual exposure. Use the so does this thing need to connect to Wi-Fi?
So this is currently connected to Wi-Fi.
Alright, cool.
But if need be, there is a SIM card slot right here at the top, or on the side.
Oh, yeah,
Right
yeah.
here. Now you can actually just take that out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. That's sick though. That is honestly sick. I think like that's something.
Adjust it to the plus side to make the image brighter, or minus side to make it darker.
Oh, are you giving me audio now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's because I flipped
Yeah,
it over.
you
So now it's just
Talking to.
press the green button in the manual mode. Camera adjust the exposure parameters similar to program mode. Hey, boy, Tumelo, is your new production best friend here. Look here.
Obviously, it takes a little bit longer compared to what you have like with chat.com and the likes, but you can still see that it's a nifty gift.
It is.
And if, for instance, you think about kids, right? This actually isolates the fact that they don't actually have to be on the browser doing all this other stuff. They can actually buy on the go. You can just imagine they're outside, they take a picture, it's like, what is this? How do I actually tend to this in one form or another?
Yeah.
Maybe even helping them with math questions and such. So this is a nifty gift where it's very limited in its use case without actually having to have the full suite of what you see like on a normal smartphone.
Hey, bro, this is quite interesting. I think, like, for me, what really makes it quite fun for me as, like, a device that I would generally not mind just holding on to me is the fact that it's very simple. You know,
Yeah.
fine, we've got the whole QWERTY keyboard on the touchscreen, fair enough. But apart from that, controlling it is just this.
Yeah,
Little-
that's for the camera and the likes, or even double tapping that will open the camera.
Yeah, but now I'm opening sound and stuff.
Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, so the camera is actually not with the motor. Oh,
So it just switches around.
Yo! And plus, it just looks cool, dog. I think this is actually just cool. Like,
If you're
it's,
looking at the colors, like it pops out. If
Yeah,
you're
I'll-
walking around and you've got one of these, I
Yeah.
would be like, what is this?
so I'm definitely curious as to like the picture quality on an image. We'll probably just kind of pull that out and then
Of course.
show people what they look like. Let me take a picture. Let's take a
A quick selfie.
yo.
Yeah.
Banana in the picture. Did I capture? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, all right,
think it
cool.
will
So
be-
we'll put that up and then you guys can see the picture quality there.
Yeah.
But no, cool, okay. And then the camera is switching off with the, so this is called the Rabbit.
Yeah, the Rabbit R1.
Rabbit R1. Damn. AI is in the building, guys. Take a job. Take a job. It's, no, cool, bro.
Cool. Hey, but you know,
Did I put it in properly?
well, either way.
Oh, it's just AI. No one cares how we put it in.
I could even just show you like the nice little case itself even indicates as to which components they are and the likes. And the nice thing is that it also switches as a stand. So all the instructions as to what is there, it even tells you the microphone is right there at the top and all that sort of stuff. And you can just put it on your desk and the charging port is right there on the side. So it's pretty much an all-in-one.
You know what this reminds me of? The packaging, yeah?
Yeah.
But Tumela, do you know what it reminds me of? Guys, look at this thing. Guys, look at this thing. Like, look at this thing. What else did we have to, use? Maybe not the size and shape, but the actual structure here.
Hey, I'm still guessing.
Say it.
Guys, you don't remember the cassette tapes?
Yeah, the cassette.
Cassette tape. This is literally the packaging of a cassette tape, Joe. The one where you had to, if it starts to unwind,
Yeah.
then you take a pencil just to, yeah. Yeah, no, this is dope, man. I'm impressed. I think I'm actually quite curious as to, like, what's the chat there. And in fact, literally, if it was just kind of sitting in the house, what I think, man,
Yeah.
if it was just one of those things that would just sit in the house, similar to, what's that Google thing, Alexa?
Oh yeah, or even like the HomePods, as in got 2 HomePods. Yeah.
You've got 2 HomePods.
Yeah, these are the first gens.
what does somebody need 2 HomePods for?
For stereo, because it connects to the TV.
Okay, but both of them answer questions and follow your commands in the house.
Yeah, so obviously you're not going to ask the magic words or else it's going to come on whilst we're in there. But you can already see, it's like there's quite a lot of tech where It's basic AI, especially for Siri, but yeah.
So let's actually get to the bottom of this, because we're having this show and I don't think people actually tap. Like, hey, bruh. So in your place, ne?
Yeah.
Like, what AI do you just have running here listening to this conversation?
Hey, I think the closest thing is just the HomePod. And again, that's just a...
What's this?
Oh, that is a...
We won't show it on, it's not on camera, no?
You
Cool.
can grab it. You can grab it. As in, this
Is it plugged in?
No, it's not even plugged in. So this was actually what Apple called the time capsule. So for anybody who uses Time Machine, it was pretty much a 2-in-1 in terms of a backup.
What's Time Machine?
So on your, if you ever want to back up periodically in the lights,
Oh, okay.
with Time Machine, that funny enough, like a time machine, you could jump to certain dates.
Aha.
Just restore the files that you might have actually deleted.
Sure. Time Machine.
Yeah.
On Windows, we just call it System Restored.
Yeah. So what this one is like, so at least you can go to specific dates and it'll go to all the files on your computer.
Apple.
Apple used to produce Wi-Fi equipment, but then they stopped doing that a while back.
Yo, alright,
So
cool.
they've just stuck to things like your Apple TV, your HomePods, and obviously the iOS devices, iPad OS,
Yeah.
and also your Macs as well.
So these HomePods, obviously they have their own speaker.
Yeah.
All right, and they each have a microphone in them to be able to
Pick up.
listen to you, pick up
Yeah.
whenever you say the prompt, right? So are these like Apple? These are Apple.
Yeah, these are Apple.
So Siri is alive in you.
Yeah, Siri is alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from instead of can you connect them to a speaker system?
Well, they're currently connected to the Apple TV, which actually ends up being a speaker system. So
We know now they are a speaker system because there's two of them.
yeah.
But hey, happy you Apple fanboys, dog.
So while you're using your Mac, it actually connects directly to that.
No, we know that now, of course, yes. But I mean, like, are these like one of these? What do you call them? HomePods.
Yeah, HomePods. Yeah.
AirPods, HomePods. One of these things are they able to connect to a speaker system? Like,
Yeah.
so they can.
They can't. They can't. So the thing is that's proprietary. That's the unfortunate part with
No, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing that they don't even have an aux port and the likes. It's all just Wi-Fi. So if the Wi-Fi is off, you someone can't use them.
But they can connect to each other.
They can connect to each other. And you can connect to multiple home.
And share, right? Because now you've got them all on the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, cool.
Cool.
For this particular time, you're justified for being an Apple fanboy
Yeah.
because, like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if there was at least the young and aux jack, yeah, and I'd be like, nah, Daliso.
Yeah.
Nah.
Even as far as it stands, even like with the Apple TV, the nice thing why I actually like it as well. This is off topic. We're now even diving into that realm.
Yeah, before we get into the new up and coming ones, I want to, because I'm seeing here, AI is
Got
the
your
line.
AirPods, even like your Beats and the likes,
Yeah.
connect them directly to the Apple TV.
Yeah.
And if, for instance, you've got people in the house and the likes, maybe a person's in the bedroom, you don't
Yeah.
want to actually have the speakers on, you can just connect directly to the actual AirPods
Yeah.
through the Apple TV.
I know there's this AirTag thing going around.
Yeah.
And that's basically like you can track location by just putting the AirTag, it's like magnetic or whatever.
Even on my keys, I'm not too sure. Can you grab my keys?
You have an AirTag on your keys.
Yeah. I just like literally AirTag everything. Luggage.
AirTag everything.
Yeah, so if, for example, I'm traveling, I just throw an AirTag in. So if, for example, I'm flying out, if I get to the airport, I can actually open up my phone and see where my luggage is.
Oh, hectic.
Yeah.
Wait, but like, wait.
Yeah. Maybe I can actually, I would usually use a series.
Use the AirTag to find them.
Yeah.
And he's got an AirTag here. But okay, my thing is like, doesn't that now have use a cellular signal or whatever on the plane?
No. It's all wireless.
What?
Yeah, so it's using Bluetooth and the likes, and then you can
Bluetooth kanjan, dog.
yeah, because
At what distance? What if someone is driving away, like your AirTag in your luggage is being driven away?
because it bounces off different Apple devices, it can actually even tell you where it might actually be.
So literally throw like a trail,
Exactly.
like a whole satellite kind of thing.
So like right now, This is just a basic illustration. This is that it's trying to connect. Currently saying far, but when it comes to them actually coming through, you'll see that it will even tell you as to the location. So even
But did you hear the keys ringing? So the keys were
so
ringing.
you can even see it's showing the distance. Then from there, yeah. So whenever I'm actually just in the house and the keys are somewhere, I can actually use them to actually find out where everything is.
Yo.
That's how we find our luggage.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we knew that. For example, we traveled last year for holidays. Got to the airport, luggage was not there. It's like there was a live update where the luggage was. It was in the previous airport. So now it was a case of rather than actually waiting the whole time to be like, oh, okay, we're waiting for our luggage. It was a case of
Lost bounce, dog.
Yeah, lost and found. They delivered the luggage directly to the hotel the following day.
Because you can show them like, hey, yo, me, I know where my luggage is. You guys have it.
You know, the funny thing with them as well is that now the new feature, I'm not too sure if it's supported worldwide, but in the US, you can even share your AirTag with the airline staff.
Oh, really?
They can actually inform you as to when they actually find your luggage.
Oh, hectic.
Yeah.
So how much is an AirTag? Like, so what is the AirTag? Let me see that little thing there.
Just this little thing.
This thing that looks like the gate, the tag for the gate.
So it's just pretty much this little thing.
Okay, and then that's like a cover for
So
it.
that's just the cover. I bought them a few years ago, I
A
think.
few years ago? How long? What do you mean a few years ago? How long have these things been around?
Probably for like 4+ years.
Damn, and then how much is one?
One, I think it might be like around $400.
$400 for one of these?
Yeah, but I think it's
For a gate tag?
but if you think about it, divided.
Does it come with the holder?
Now you have to pay for the whole.
No freaking way, bro.
But remember, as far as it goes, you can even take out the battery as well.
Aye, Daliso, $400. I understand we can take out the battery, but $400, dog.
If you're considering
Okay.
your luggage and the likes, how much does that actually cost?
No, that's fair. So for a trip like that, now I definitely understand. But my thing is considering, I probably want one of those for each set of my keys.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
So
saying?
you do get like a 4-pack and the likes where it's reduced in cost. This is I don't have the pricing right now.
Yeah, okay.
We'll put the links or even provide us to details.
Yeah, no. I mean, that is very interesting. I can see how helpful that can be. You know what I'm saying? My dad literally loses keys every day. We lost the keys for the gate today, bro.
Interesting. A use case.
And I'm sitting here going, but $400.
Well, time is money. You can say like, it's a birthday gift, as in, I presume you might actually spend more.
Yeah.
Maybe on like a nice meal on the likes. It's like, hey, this time around, this will actually make sure that you don't lose your keys.
I think on that basis, like my dad would probably forget that he has this app that'll help him find the keys once he needs to find the keys.
I usually
like he's just
to even say like, hey, find my keys, and often will tell me, he's like, oh yeah, it's nearby.
okay. So you can actually name the AirTag according to
Whatever
it's
And I think
touched
it's not
to.
only just Apple with the AirTags, but even like Samsung. The one that I used to use for quite some time was called Tile. But the thing is that there wasn't native support for Apple. That's also another anti-trust situation. But either way, there are a variety of options on the market. So it's not like only just these ones by Apple, but even Samsung, probably even Huawei, even had their own solution as well.
So obviously practical uses is like, luggage, solid, keys, of course.
Even a wallet as well. Because if you
Wallet, someone comes and pickpockets you, for sure,
but
definitely.
Of course, I think if they're smart, they will just take that thing out. But if they're none, they know how.
What if you chuff it nicely there? What if the guy doesn't know? I mean,
Obviously, yeah. But most of the times, I think guys open up your wallets, take out everything, then chuck the wallet to the side.
shame, bro. All right, cool. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, what other practical uses would there be for having an AirTag? You know what I'm saying? Like, apart from just missing, trying to find things that you might have lost.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that's the whole purpose.
You could also put it in your child's bag, school bag,
Yeah.
track them.
Children's school bag, yeah.
Yeah, I saw one video of a person that actually put it in their hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with the AirTags is that it also informs you if a foreign AirTag is nearby. So it'll actually emit a beep. So for safety purposes,
Okay.
it could actually try it and track you and the likes, and now you're wondering, like, what exactly is happening?
Yeah.
So the nice thing is that even within the app for Find My, you've got two options. It's either that you trust the AirTag, Or for instance, you can even see where the AirTag was actually placed. So you've got an idea as to where the...
When did me and this AirTag meet?
Exactly.
Nah, this one is interesting. I must get me an AirTag. Or 4 or 5.
So that's the thing. I don't know. Literally, it's also friends and family. Give them out.
I think the real one is definitely the ringing keys, bro.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying that, like, I wish I could just call the keys, dog, you know? But, the ringing keys, Joe, for my parents to be like, hey, man, this thing actually exists.
Exactly.
I'll do that and will say, look, I invented this thing. Just put them on your key.
Brand it is, just checking as to which tags they've actually got. And it's just quite an easy process. Like, for instance, like...
Oh, snap, but then it would have to be linked up to an Apple device, no?
Yeah, so for Apple, of course. But if, for instance, there's a specific brand, they typically should have their own. Not last resort would be Tile. So Tile is universal. And the nice thing is that you can just imagine, you just show them how to use it. Similar to like WhatsApp. Before, most people would actually be doing airtime calls. Once people realize like, it's so much cheaper to actually go into WhatsApp and do a phone call there.
Yeah.
Why would you actually want to return back to something that costs you more?
No, sure, fair enough. Sure, yeah, because I'm thinking now the biggest learning curve is actually the transition between the kind of phones that my parents use now, like Android, and then going into an Apple system is...
Yeah, so like with Android, like I said, you've got your Samsungs. Huawei is obviously not Android, but even...
Huawei is not Android. Oh, they're on their own platform.
Yeah, that was also because of the US, Donald Trump. We don't need to get into politics. But then if they got kicked out or they were banned from using Android, and then they had to develop their own operating system.
No, cool, touche. All right, man. So we've pretty much gone through what we had on the table today.
This was a little bit longer, but I think we'll go to the creme de la creme.
The creme de la creme.
Yeah.
I've got the creme before the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
And again, this is now, just based on the discussion of what's popping off this week. So, in my hand right here.
Well, when this actually gets released, most likely the new one will actually be out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but I think in this part of the section or this section of the video, we'll probably post this up as teasers because there's just enough time to have this part of the conversation come up before, or like in time, just in time. So right here I have currently my favorite camera all over, like in general, my favorite camera, which is the Insta360 X4. Now, I'm not going to say this camera is perfect. It's not perfect.
No camera. We literally got, I think, 3 different cameras shooting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Different brands, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely getting closer to that point of being like the ideal camera for any situation. So, right now, our wide-angle shots is being captured by the Insta360 Ace Pro.
Yeah.
And one thing that the Ace Pro definitely had as an advantage on the X4 was low light capability. So, X4 low light capability was just bad. Bad. Ace Pros had a mode called Pure Video. And there is word that the next version of 360 camera coming from Insta360 after the X4 will have similar capabilities as well.
Rumors,
yeah.
That's
Speculation.
But with what you're talking about, the Pure Video, and funny enough, this is actually an AI camera.
Oh, yeah.
Pure Video actually uses quite a bit of AI to actually at least get that low light.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely one of the things that I'm looking forward to experiencing on the next camera. And then apparently, in terms of size, have you done your research? Have you heard?
It seems like it's the same size, doesn't it? Yeah. That's what I saw in terms of rumors. Even like with the...
What if we made base, bro?
Yeah.
What if you made base on like... No, because based on the things that I've heard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we even talk about size, like there's this whole thing about,
How would
digital lenses and whatnot, right? So there's a couple of build features that have been changed, right?
Yeah.
Cool. If we had to flip a coin, just a hypothetical coin, just for points, okay, not even flip a coin, but like, if you had to guess, do you think they would make it same size or bigger?
Probably around the same size or bigger, because apparently it might actually have bigger lenses, maybe 1-inch lenses, and that might actually make it a little bit bigger in size. But of course, there's only so much you can actually pack before you find actual limits in terms of what happens. It's like a phone. You can only get it so thin before what exactly are you packing from.
So obviously, like, I mean, it's got things like pure video mode,
Yeah.
which is adding more to its capabilities and features.
Yeah.
And you would assume that if it can still do what the X4 can do,
Mm.
then surely it's also consuming the same in terms of battery and everything.
Yeah, it's
That's what
slightly
makes
bigger,
sense.
slightly bigger battery. Yeah.
So apparently,
Mm.
the new camera is a smaller camera.
I want to see this. Once it actually drops, I want to see this because as far
wanna
as
see it.
then as far as it goes, it's like telling me it's like an iPhone 4, iPhone. Let's just see what 18 Pro Max is gonna be small. I'll feel like I need to see this on.
Not gonna overheat quickly.
Apparently,
Yeah, let's see this. Yes, apparently, so rumored.
so apparently,
Mm.
apparently, it's gonna help with the overheating.
We have to see this in practice. We have to see this in practice. At the day of this recording, the following day, we're gonna see the release of this apparent new camera. This IBA 360.
So word is I'm gonna check. We're gonna check all the facts when we actually get the camera. We can open the bars and see all the details. But word is fine. We've got detachable lenses, not just lens guards, but the lenses themselves can be detached. We do have a smaller sensor on the inside.
Smaller on the next version.
Yeah,
big,
one little sensor,
but that'll be bigger.
bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is a 0.5 or something.
Yeah, because of course, like when you think of the Insta360 RS,
Yeah.
an incident.
The 1 inches, right?
Yeah, it's a big event. Yeah,
Yeah. So apparently on the next one we do have a 1 inch sensor.
yeah.
I think this was 1.5 or something like that. 1.2. You're
Pretty
right.
much slightly smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, so hence why, we'd be able to kind of get better quality in terms of generally, and then also with low light capabilities, we do have now 1 inch sensor. And I think it might be a similar thing to what's going on with the Ace Pro as well.
Yeah,
But
which,
yeah.
as far as it goes, they're saying that this thing is indestructible. That's why you can't change the lenses. But anyway.
Indestructible. We must put it to the test. We're gonna actually, okay, you guys had this one, ne?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So I've also got one.
Let's use your one.
No, let's use this one.
Let's use your one.
No, but we could always test because there were those videos in the lab where they were even pressing the button and being tumbled around. I'm like, well, we have to see it in the real world.
Yeah, I need to. I feel like the machine was told like, "Hey, yo, you're gonna move this far, you're gonna stop here, and then you're gonna come back." Whereas in real life, I'm done at the water. From like wherever heights you're falling from, you don't just stop and be like, "Okay, that's enough," But yeah, we'll check. And then that actually also does bring up the question of durability with the camera. I am curious as to like what accessories are gonna come in the whole thing. But yeah, word is smaller camera. You've got the detachable frames. You've got other features as well. What else was there? Apparently, it being the smaller camera, they haven't decreased the size of the battery.
Okay, well, we're still gonna have to wait and see.
So it's like fitting an X4 battery inside an
I
X.
presume that if they've got better processing power, it means that it actually has less draw on the battery.
But how? With the smaller.
No, as in if it's a processor. So like the M4 consumes less power compared to an M1 MacBook.
All right.
Because it actually has a smaller footprint, but higher performance per watt.
Okay, so now that we have some basic assumptions, do you think that the next camera, of which we're not going to mention now,
Yeah.
but surely by the time this video comes out, we'll probably have like an image of it and everything sitting on the screen.
Yeah.
But like, do you think if you had to put this here, we do have an X3 somewhere in here, no? But
No.
we don't have to bring it out right now.
Yeah, it's still at the office, yeah.
All right, cool. So we know that there's the X4, then there's an X3, and we do know the size difference there.
Yeah.
If we had to guess, for what are we betting here? What are we betting? Let's raise the stakes on this one. Where do you think the size comparison would sit the next camera? If we had like X3 based on its size and then X4, which wasn't a huge difference.
Yeah.
But do you think that the next camera would be smaller or bigger than the X?
I think people would actually want a bigger camera, especially if they want a bigger screen. Phones have not gone small in size, if you think about it.
What?
Phones, as in the phone screen.
Do you even use 360 cameras, bro?
No, I'm just like saying, it's like even for example, where your Sony's in the live shot,
So you think people would want a bigger camera?
people would actually want a bigger screen.
With
A bigger screen.
You would prefer
Not
a bigger 360 camera?
Not a bigger camera, a bigger screen. Because like, for example, you think of like the X1, that's only had a circular screen, which was this LED. X2 circular, but it was color. X3 had a screen. X4 also had the same rectangular screen. So it might be a bigger camera because people might actually want a bigger screen.
So I get the bigger screen aspect.
Yeah.
Nah? I just don't think like bigger camera is really the story here.
It's not like, for instance, having a bigger phone makes a whole lot of sense, but people want a bigger phone.
It's just for spotlight, bro. No one wants a bigger phone because the phone is bigger. It's just because like, yo,
Most
I got this big phone now. Y'all can see that I've got the.
As a like, for example,
Craig Max.
same thing about Showmax, right? Sports for Showmax only appears on the phone, and most people give you
For Showmax only appears on the phone.
yeah,
Alright, guys. Those good.
unless you're gonna be paying for DSTV. But they never as a whole. Most people is like it's either that they've got their phone or they might have their laptop. Most people don't want a tablet.
Okay, so what do you think is gonna actually?
It's most likely
be
going to be a bigger camera.
a bigger camera,
Yeah,
bigger than the X3.
Not going to be substantially bigger, but
Right,
it's like
short,
this.
somewhere in between the X3 and the X4.
No, I'd still say that it will be bigger.
Bigger than the X4.
Yeah.
Can we bet on that?
Yeah, we can bet on it. As in, if anything,
How much are we betting?
that you're going to be the solo host or mid-sound for the pop. And you'll talk of all the nice features of this new camera.
I want your headline.
Of my headliners. Those are the company headliners.
What do you mean those are company headliners?
No, those are the company headliners.
No.
As in the headliners,
Okay, I want the company headliners.
hey, that still has to be discussed. We're the market. Right. As in, we're trying to get sales in. Isn't we?
Bro, listen,
Yeah.
listen.
You betting on a lot of money.
Which is a company that could put a ton.
Okay, I'll just say, like, okay, for me personally, I'm very curious, right? If they managed to pull it off, and you know how Insta360 can be.
Yeah.
Like it happened with the Ace Pro 2. They released it, suddenly everything had to be recalled because there was some production fault and whatnot. So I'm very curious, especially because we have a detachable lens. If we have a detachable lens, guys, and water seeps in through there, now you've got water inside your camera.
So
I'm really worried about that.
they might take the GoPro approach as well. I'm not too sure. That's
Pro approach.
GoPros has detachable lenses. So the thing is that they actually took that approach before we even got to test as to, hey, what is the repair process if you damage one of their lenses, right? That's the only way you can actually see as in how the repair process for a camera would work. But presumably so, their proposal would be still get lens guards, similar to your phone. You can use your phone without a screen protector, but find out the price of replacing a whole screen compared to having the screen protector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think in wrapping that up, sure, I'm really excited for the next Insta360 360 camera,
Yeah.
right? And of course, we'll probably do a side-by-side comparison, you know, just to be like, okay, where's the... I don't know if we should maybe also try to add in the X3 into that whole comparison.
Well, the thing is that the X3 would, apparently, the X3 might still be sold on the market. So we could actually compare all three of them.
So I've already done a comparison video between X3 and X4.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be a bit too much work.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time playing with the next camera.
Unless it's going to be a Ben Claremont approach. So Ben Claremont, he reviews all the top 360 cameras from all the different manufacturers. So people have a fair view as to if they're going to upgrade, what exactly is a high end, low end, or even like in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, this camera is pretty much like leading the race in terms of 360 cameras right now. So I probably do a comparison with this and the next upcoming camera. And then from there, I'll do a full-on review video where I'm doing all these comparisons and stuff like that. But yeah, that is pretty much what we got on the table today before we go out and go camera.
And obviously, just exploring a bit of tech in terms of the AirTags and the likes, defunct hardware, and yeah, cute little things such as the Rabbit. As far as it goes, I think I still enjoy the Rabbit at all of the same tech, yeah. Yeah.
These ones are nice, no?
Hey.
These are headliners. Aren't these headliners?
Those are-
Those ain't the skylights.
Yeah.
These are skylights.
That's the camera person's Skylights.
Yeah, and she'll kill me.
All right, cool. Okay, so just to wrap it up, everybody, this is another episode of the African Techno podcast. I know that it'll be episode 1, episode 3, but just consider it another episode.
Yeah.
With your hosts Rae and myself, Daliso Ngoma.
Yeah.
And you can catch us at African Techno. That will be on all social media platforms. Then podcast.africantechno.com. if you want to find out more about the podcast. But please follow, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Hey, we're really trying to grow this. Of course, there were promises to say we'll have this out every single week. Don't hold us to it. We're still trying to actually rebuild, so let's just see as and how things actually head off from there.
Yeah.
But Rae, any last parting word?
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you guys are looking at new gear that you're not really sure about what's going on regarding it, if you haven't really seen any good reviews about any particular equipment or gear that you're interested in, hit us up, man. Hit us up with some comments. Let us know what gear you want to check out. Let us know if you want us to at least try something so that we can give you a fair opinion, even if you have your own particular perspective as to like how you'd like us to test it for whatever you're trying to use it for. Hit us up. This is the place where you guys can just get all the right information about things from a real perspective, a personal point of view, because we don't really just grab gear and be like, it's dope, grab it, take it. No, but like, we're obviously trying to make sure that we understand what we're talking about when we review products. So if there's anything that you guys want to check out, if there's gear that we have and you want to try them out, feel free to hit us up. Maybe you guys could also land up here and give us your opinion after you get the chance to try out some gear, test out some stuff, maybe break some stuff, but don't do that because that's my job. Yeah, man, shout outs to everybody who's, tuned in on this whole journey with African Techno, putting the podcast out, doing a whole bunch of other things as well, using the tech gear. So you guys can expect. So you guys can expect to see a lot more content coming out from us. There's going to be a lot more information and a lot more kind of reviews and behind the scenes and blah, blah, blahs and yada, yada, yadas and rah, rah, rahs and all of those. So yeah, stay tuned. This is the African Techno Podcast. It's your boy Rae.
Daliso, take it easy. Peace.
Oi.
Cool. So what, we clap it out?
Bye.
Okay, cool.
Clap is for the kipini.